What's up, everybody? It's ImmaLetYouFinish, show 154, with your hosts who, like Erica Jane, have both lost weight because of menopause naturally, Court and Amy. It's like, she tried it. She tried it.
Yeah.
She really tried. And wait, with a straight face.
With a straight
face. Yeah. I looked at her, I was like, lady.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the pause.
You know about the men, but not the pause.
But I've had a mother who went through the pause, a lot of friends who and nobody came out suddenly like, look, I am 40 pounds thinner because I went through menopause.
That's how it worked for me. Yeah.
It's like, girl.
I'm a slip of a girl now.
You're a wisp, honey. You're a wisp.
I'm a wisp of a will. Jesus fucking Christ. Bless her heart.
You got to give it to the kids. You got to give it E for effort.
They say it with a straight face as if no one's going to go, what?
And right, and we're all and the best part was the comedian Jackie Hoffman, who's fucking brilliant.
Oh no, she's great. She's an actress too.
Yeah, she was sitting right there next to her. She was like, "Nobody loses weight." What, bitch?
No. Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of. Oh, okay. Here's my transition. It's going to be good. Speaking of middle age, hip hop turned 50 last week.
It
good,
sure
right?
did.
That was a
there
good
was
transition.
No way to escape it. It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. And what they're going to do when it's 51, I don't. It's going to be sort of anticlimactic.
It's a hard act to follow. There were block parties in every block.
I know.
Listen, I love the energy around it, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
I went and got a Wild Style library card, so I'm not
Me
even
too.
going to. And the next time I'm in Brooklyn, I'm poking my head in the Brooklyn Museum to get.
Not the museum.
I mean, the library to get a Jay-Z card.
And it's any library, not just the main branch. Any library.
But I think the J ones are only at the Brooklyn branch. I think the other libraries.
No. The J ones are at any Brooklyn library.
They're at any. Okay. Good.
You don't have to go to the central library.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah. But yes, it was great. Like I said, you can't say it's overkill because this is a genre that people just dismissed as a fad. It was, I think we discussed this with our friend Nicole Duncan Smith. It was sort of like a lot of the same people participating in the event, but I have to chalk that up to who was available and who wanted to do it.
Well, I'm also going to chalk that up to like a lot of stuff. A lot of the big events and the concerts and all of that stuff kind of also came through Mass Appeal. It was spearheading a lot of stuff. So like some of it felt funneled through that vision a little bit.
Well, the show at Yankee Stadium definitely was a Mass Appeal show. Rock the Bells. But I mean, you had big corporations.
Well, Rock the Bells was LL, right?
It was LL, but there's some corporate entity. It's Sirius probably is the corporate entity with that because but the point is that there were some of the usual suspects, and we have talked about that. It was very, some rapper somewhere. Maybe it was Willie D or something complaining that it was too New York centric. Well, guess what? It started in New York. I mean, sorry. And nothing's stopping any artist in any other
city from doing your thing.
Doing something. Nobody says it's
New York is celebrating it. I mean, Atlanta, I'm sure, did things. Houston,
I'm sure. I know. Farside got back together. I mean, there's nothing stopping anybody. You know what was interesting?
Seeing Queen Latifah perform for the first time in a really long time.
They need to, and she reminds everybody just how good she was.
And I love anybody that puts on like a 90-inch ponytail, and she had a 90-inch ponytail on, and I was like, you know what? You better bring me back to the 90s and come with your 90-inch motherfucking ponytail, giving you very yes, I may be on the Equalizer, but let's not forget where this started.
Oh, no. I did not go to the Yankee Stadium show. I have to tell you a funny story about that. But I heard it was great, and I heard Run DMC killed. Literally went out on top. Now, they went on at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, is that what time they finally performed? And that show started at 6 p.m.
Yeah. Big surprise. Lauryn Hill showed up. I guess they told her that she showed up on time and was really good. I really wish people would stop making comments about the way she looks. I mean, we'll get into it later. I mean, this is what she looks like, okay? This is what she looks like.
And I have no problem with how she looked. You know, like Lauren always, she has her own sense of fashion, style, and she did her thing. And it's like, listen.
I could care less, really. Yeah. I mean, she looks fine.
She's still one of the best when she puts that mic to her mouth. You know what I mean? She's still.
But I have to tell you something. I was going up to visit really old friends of mine who live in Sleepy Hollow, and I was like, oh, I want to get up there, avoid all the insanity on Metro North with Yankee Stadium. So I got up there. It's fine. Coming back on Saturday, I'm on the train station, Metro North at Tarrytown. It's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5:30 in the afternoon. Okay. There's literally, I'm not even lying, Courtney. There's literally like 40 late teens, early 20s white girl with that white girl voice. And they all talk like this. And I'm like, with all wearing a ton of makeup and everything. So I'm on the train. It's jam-packed. There's no seats. I got a seat, but it's jam-packed. And all these girls, and they're doing their hair and doing their makeup. And I finally go, what's happening? And they went, Jonas Brothers at Yankee Stadium. I have never felt so old in my life. And they were all singing Jonas Brothers songs. Do you know that they have many songs, the Jonas Brothers?
Well, evidently in like 5 albums, because they're doing they're playing multiple nights and they're playing full albums on each night.
All right, this is not to be mean. I'm sure they're really lovely. Name me a Jonas Brothers song. Come on.
As long as you love. Wait, no, that's
not them.
Hold on, wait, no.
No.
Wait, hold on, no. There's that one.
You can't Google it.
Okay.
Google.
You see me? I mean, I'm trying to grab for my phone.
As long as you love me is Backstreet Boys, and then as long as you're beautiful is One Direction. Yeah, I can't. Okay. Whatever. But bless their hearts. But I literally felt like the oldest woman. I felt like I had been kidnapped and dropped in the middle of Hot Topics for 25 minutes. And then when they got off at Yankee Stadium, everyone on the train looked at each other.
Oh my God!
What was that?
What was that?
What was that? But yeah, I'm very, hip. We joke around like, but it's good. It's good for the culture, LLC. It's good, not the Jonas Brothers. The hip hop thing, the corporate sponsorship. We've talked about that. It is
that's analogy. What music
your
is.
Analogy. Oh yeah, but your analogy was like it's gay pride and everybody's having their moment.
I mean,
it's a
channels that I've never seen talk about hip hop had whole segments like every day. And listen, I was glad to see a lot of the artists being spoken about, remembered.
Yeah, me too.
Look, it's the beast we have to live in, the corporate part. That's just what it is now. And I hate it. I hate that it is really infiltrated because rock and roll was like the anti that. But
to a point. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's been corporate sponsorships. I mean, come on, the Rolling Stones went out with corporate sponsorships.
Yeah, but that's, people rolling corporate sponsorships to bankroll tours. I get that. Tours are really expensive. I'm talking about now. If you look at everybody's video, it's like, there's the product placement shots because they're giving money, which means they also get to have an opinion on the art and how their stuff is presented. And that's where I have a problem. It's like, take corporate dollars and then you have to consider them in your art.
Yeah, but I am glad, like I said, everybody I know who went to any of the shows, I actually don't know anyone other than like on an industry level. I don't know any like friends of mine who went to any of the shows.
I know a bunch of people that went to the Bronx show. I know people that went to some of the different block parties. Did you go to the block party?
No. Because come on, man. I'm not saying it.
It's funny, but this is soul in your wheelhouse, and you were just like,
no, it's not. I don't like being in a group. I don't like being in a group of people. Sorry.
Hip hop is not your wheelhouse. That's what you wrote about.
For
all of your years in your career, you are very associated with writing about hip hop, writing liner notes for hip hop.
No.
Being at the fucking Great Day for
that was
session in Harlem.
No. I'm having imposter syndrome actually about this whole 50th anniversary thing. I really have. I've been having major imposter syndrome, but I'll talk about it with my therapist.
But the truth of the matter of that is, and this is the part that nobody ever talks about honestly, when we talk about hip hop in that era, yes, the artists were black. Absolutely.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about imposter syndrome being white.
I was about to say, because a lot of people behind the scenes, because I've seen some people commenting about some of the people they've seen in certain things. I'm like, what you guys keep forgetting is everybody had like A white manager.
No, not the white part isn't the part. It's just the fact that if you were to put a gun to my head and ask me your favorite rhymer, the moment hip hop did not.
But that doesn't mean that you're not part of it. Because
but hip hop didn't change my life in the way I'm reading stuff that a 40-year-old, because I was a fully formed human being.
Yeah, but that's different, right? There are people.
I'm allowed to have my imposter syndrome.
But I feel, and I'm going to be the one to tell you that is bullshit. You're very associated with that whole time and that whole space.
Wait, and you will take those words back when I tell you what I've been listening to this week.
And you know what? And I think that you should fucking own it.
Then why didn't anybody offer me tickets, dagnabbit?
Which to me, I said was fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That there's certain things that are fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. All right. So No Name is a rapper. Mm-hmm. Her new album is getting really, really good press. I'm not going to lie and tell you I've listened to her before. I may have heard her before, but I have not actively listened to her before. But people I know who are know their shit have said it's a really, really good record. Her new album is called Sundial. It's been getting good press, blah, blah, blah. All right. So she has a feature from Jay Electronica, remember he was always about to become the next big thing.
Always.
And like he's sort of the Kyrie Irving of hip hop.
And everybody was waiting for an album, and his first album didn't come until decades
later.
So it came, and I think he's had 2 albums, and I believe they're critical.
No, critical, but he was supposed to be a rapper's rapper. A rapper's rapper. Mm-hmm. And then he famously was dating like some really weird, like an heiress. Like I want to say a Rothschild. I mean, that kind of level of heiress. And then he had a baby with Erykah Badu, but I mean, so did you and so did I, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
But we still love her. Like, to me, I'm like, she's the chosen special one.
Yeah.
I feel like she's got that magic charm, honey. She's like, it's very the thing.
All right. So he did a verse on her new album, No Name, a track called Balloons that has been getting a lot of pushback because it is perceived as being anti-Semitic. And I will say this, I read up on it. This is not Jay Electronica's first time at the somewhat anti-Semitic carnival. He has he is a not an advocate. He's a follower of Louis Farrakhan, which is problematic to a lot of people. It's not problematic to some people. It is problematic to other people. And he has made sort of veiled anti-Semitic comments. So I'm going to read the verse, and I'm telling you, I'm the worst Jew ever. All right. So he is doubling down on his support of the controversial Nation of Islam. First off, is Louis Farrakhan still the head of the Nation of Islam?
Yes, he is. And still alive.
Okay. How old is he? Like 110 years old?
I don't know, but he's still alive and kicking.
All right. Okay. There's a reality show. Pick the new head of the NOI. That would be a really good.
And I hate that they always call it controversial. It's like, why is it?
Oh, he is Louis Farrakhan is the definition of controversial. Come on, Courtney.
Well, I mean, when they talk about the Nation of Islam, not
the Nation of Islam. Louis Farrakhan.
Well, I guess to some.
He's controversial when he called. Come on, we can. We're not commenting about the Nation of Islam. We're talking about the fact that the man literally, every time he opens his mouth, that's like saying the Congress isn't. We're not saying the Congress is controversial. We're saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is controversial. He's controversial. All right. Anyway, to the verse, y'all. I will not try to spit it. Everywhere I step foot, I leave a trail of names of the sons of Yaqub in a trail of flames. I'm on fire. I'm plugged in directly to Messiah. I run with the mighty Khan as we expose the liars. And some fuckboy 85er come up and press me. It's all a hoax, quite simple, a joke like Zelensky. The imams, the rabbis, and the Pope, incidentally, couldn't stop my bokeh from quoting quotes from the Sensi. If anyone asks, tell him Farrakhan sent me. It's the war of Armageddon, and I'm begging the listener, if you ain't fighting, that means you're either dead or a prisoner. So, I will leave it to people to interpret. There are some references in here that have been deemed anti-Semitic. I can sort of see what they are. But the point of this is, people are taking No Name to task, and she is like, I'm not apologizing. It's not my verse. So what do you think about that? She said, I didn't write it. I'm not apologizing. And she said, um, here's the truth. No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't hate groups of people. I am against white supremacy, which is a global system that privileges people who identify as white. I've been clear about this for years. I'm not going to apologize for a verse I didn't write. I'm not going to apologize for including on my album. If you feel I'm wrong for including it, that's fair. Don't listen. Unfollow and support all the other amazing rappers putting out dope music. She then says, your disappointment truly means nothing to me, and I say that with love.
And you know what? I like her response to it because the truth of the matter is you don't have to like it.
Right.
You don't. It's like you can interpret things a lot of different ways. You can choose not to listen to it. You can call it out and you can say, I feel like it is this. You have the right to do that. But if you're going to put art there, I'm kind of a person who believes you don't apologize for art. Like, there's one thing if you're setting out to offend somebody and you do, right? And then it becomes you not meaning to offend and you're apologizing. But if that's your art, stand by it. You put it out, so stand by it. You know what I mean? I think that it's interesting that, again, they're like, it's her song. They're mad at her. And I don't see the same energy going toward him. Like, hey, we don't like what you said here.
Well, I think that the energy towards him it's been that energy for as long as his career has happened. I mean, this is who this, you know what I mean? This is who this guy is.
Right.
So getting mad at him, and I think it's because it's her album, and quite honestly, there's more interest in her at this point than Jay Electronica.
Right.
No disrespect to Jay Electronica, but she's a woman, she's a rapper, she's really kind of somebody and it's an otherwise. It's a good record. So, and I just, like I said, saying, oh my God, Jay Electronica said something about Farrakhan is like, and today is Tuesday. You know, I mean, this is what he does. This is who he believes in, you know, and I can fault him for believing in him, but I can't tell the guy who to believe in. I will say that, I don't know. I mean, I think you can still get a verse. Here's my question. Does the verse... This is something I tell my students all the time. Does it further the narrative? Does the verse really help her song? You know what I mean? Like, or is it just him saying something? Because if it's just him saying something, then I might think about, all right, do I want to put something...
Did anybody go to him and ask him what the verse means, right? I feel like they want her to answer.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, listen.
I mean, it's fairly...
This is a guy
there's enough little buzzwords in there.
This is a guy who...
This is who he is.
Who also, like you said, clearly has dated white women. Don't know if he still does, right? If he dated a Rothschild and all of those things.
I don't know if it was a Rothschild, but yeah.
Yes, it was a Rothschild because I read absolutely it was a Rothschild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's made references to the Rothschilds before in some of his verses. This is the first one. So it's like, listen, it's art. Sometimes people say things that are very upsetting. We just had the same thing about the Jason Aldean song, and I said the same. He had the right to say it, and you had the right for those images. But again, don't try to act like when people say that they get a certain feeling from something. I feel like sometimes people get the intention that you mean for them to get. So there's that, and you either stand behind it or you don't. If you put some shit out, my belief is stand behind it, because they knew when this song, what's it called? Balloons, right? It was actually supposed to be the lead single from the album. Right. And because of controversy with people hearing that he was going to be on the track, they switched up this being the lead-off single from the album. So they already knew that it might be a little controversial. And the truth of the matter is, controversy these days, as it's always been, attracts people to records. There are a lot of people who've never heard her name, and a lot of people have probably gone online to listen to this song to hear what's talking about. And that's what ultimately people want. Controversy.
I know,
sells.
I agree with you, but when it's controversy like the Jason Aldean or something that is invoking violence, I think that's what people's problem is.
But unfortunately, that is the weird world we live in. I know, but I'm saying to violence.
Well, no, they always. But what I'm saying is that it's like, at what point does an artist have a responsibility to go, okay, this is what I feel, but I also know that people are idiots and they're going to hear this and they might do X, Y, and Z. And by the way, you can be the biggest racist, as you know, and the biggest anti-Semite and date white people if you're black or whatever.
The thing about that is, I don't know if artists have that responsibility. I think their responsibility is to create art, not to think, oh, when I put this art out now, there's some people who are going to be idiots, right?
All right, so if you put out a song that says, well, let's go down the street and burn all the temples, let's go down the street and lynch all the black people, but it's a great song, should they put that song out? I'm being very over the top, obviously, but there's no responsibility for the artist to not stoke violence, because that's Trump's argument for January 6th.
Absolutely. But in all the songs we just mentioned, they use tropes, but nobody said burn this down, turn this. Well, kind of in a small town where basically everybody feels like it's a lynching song.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and in response to that, even though it fell all the way down the Hot 100 charts for 1 week, all of those fans went out and bought 288,000 to get it number one, to let you know that there are a lot of people that feel that way. Do I think it's right? No. But this is the part about freedom of speech where people feel like they can say anything. I think you can say anything, but I also think that people need to stop acting like there's no consequence for saying certain things.
Right,
it's like, so if you're going to say it, be able to stand behind it and be ready for the consequence that comes with it. You don't get to say.
She obviously is. He has that. I mean, like I said, rereading this, there is some real kind of like buzzwords in here.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is, yes, it's her song, but go to him. He wrote it. What did you mean by this?
I think and then we'll move. I think what people are saying is, we know what he's about. Why did you give him? Why are you tacitly
giving him the platform?
Giving him the platform.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, there's 9 million verses you could probably get from him, and if it doesn't support the song, if I don't know. I mean, I think looking at it several times again, there are I mean, it's imagery, it's figurative language, ever, but there's certain kind of like, come on, guys, like Armageddon, Jakub Zielinski, we're kind of dancing around, the thing with the difference between that and the Jason Aldean thing, I think, is that Jason Aldean is like, what do you mean? I don't understand it, whereas I think she's kind of like, I don't support this kind of behavior, but it's my album and I'm putting it on and I'm not going to apologize. So, I do have to listen to the record go, because I heard it is really good.
And it's so funny, all these people getting upset. I'm like, y'all listen to No Name? Because I like No Name, but you guys really listen to No Name? It's like, I do think that
she's got a following.
She does, but the kind of following that she has, I think, would rock with this record, right? I don't think it's up to people who follow her who are feeling controversial. I think when people see his name, they go to see what it is because they know it could be something, and then you have something.
It's all noticed as fans on her Instagram. Please remove him. Why did you let him? I really don't think this is like I honestly don't think that this is like a concerted
I didn't
effort
realize
by the
I didn't realize he was that controversial. I just remember his whole story being the guy that was supposed to be the guy, the greatest ever.
Right.
The records never came. So I have both of his albums. I'll be honest with you. I believe I listened to each once when it came out, but I had no idea that he really courted so much controversy with his lyrical content.
I mean, he has said things but because he's such a cult kind of artist, we wouldn't.
Which might be why she loved him. It was like, I'm going to take his verse that he gave me.
Good.
Yeah.
He's definitely talented. I mean, there's no, he's definitely talented, and have the baby with the woman who's got tons of money, for crying out loud. Who the hell dates a Rothschild and doesn't have a baby with her? What are you, nuts? Come on. Secure the bag, kids. Secure the bag. All right, this is a complete shift. Clarence Avant, who, if you have not seen the documentary The Godfather, immediately go out and watch it. You've seen it. I know you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Clarence Avant passed away this week at the age of 92. I mean, it just I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, him, Quincy, and Berry Gordy are like the 3 archetypes of contemporary black music, right?
Absolutely.
But he was lesser known.
Outside of the industry. In the industry.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
He was a titan.
Right.
And he also was the founder of Taboo Records, which, gave, like, Jimmy and Terry really
Alexander O'Neill's label. Yeah.
It's like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. It really gave them a place to really produce all of those early records. They did all of those SOS band records and Sherelle and
Sounds of
Alexander.
Blackness.
All of Sound of Blackness was A&M.
Oh, was it?
They were on A&M. Yeah.
But so he's one of those guys who, and again, watch the documentary. It's great. He's one of those guys. Yeah, I think, he didn't have a public persona. He didn't the label, but
he was a manager.
He was, and his hands were in everything, and really did change not only black music. He changed music. So he passed, and then Robbie Robertson passed, leaving. Garth Hudson is the only surviving member of the band. There's always arguments about what was the greatest American rock band. Technically, the band was not an American rock band, but the band is always up in that list. Robbie Robertson was the key songwriter and the lead guitarist for the band. There was a bit of drama surrounding him because there were lawsuits, and he and Levon Helm, who passed several years ago, sadly fell out. If you don't know the band, listen to the band. They're phenomenal. They are basically the reason we have the Americana genre. The Last Waltz is widely considered the best music documentary ever made. It is great. And he also was always the music supervisor on Martin Scorsese's movies. So you have seen his work. One of the few Native American rock stars. Canadian guy, just fantastic songs. Funnily enough, not a very good singer, which is why there's a famous story that during the filming of The Last Waltz, they turned his mic off. Because in the band, you had three amazing singers.
And baby, you are throwing the whole thing off. So we're just going to sing your heart out, but your vocal not coming out.
No, his mic was off. Or really, because you do in the band have three phenomenal singers. You had three phenomenal singers. But that said, Robbie Robertson's, at least his two solo records that I've heard, are just great. Just great. So that was really sad. I guess he had been sick for a while. And, a great Canadian hero. Just a great artist.
All right, so let's take a break right there.
Okay.
And we will be right back.
Hello, Pantheon Podcast listeners. Christian Swain here to tell you more about my experience with Raycon earbuds. Our family now has 3 pairs of Raycon earbuds around the house, and my wife just grabbed a pair of the Headphone Pros to replace some headphones from a company that was double the price. And yes, she loves them. Now, if you haven't pulled the trigger on a pair of Raycons, or even if you have, but you're in the market for another pair because they're just that good, well, now is the time to check them out, because they just launched their upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. With Raycon's upgraded everyday earbuds, now you also get active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. New quick charge function, 3 customizable sound styles, plus awareness mode. Available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. I even have a pair of earbuds in a cool green color. I have tried just about every earbud known to humankind, and these Raycons are fantastic. Seriously, if you've been wanting to check out Raycons, there truly is no better time. You're going to ask yourself why you didn't check them out sooner, and Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go to buyraycon.com/Pantheon today to get 20% off your Raycon order, plus free shipping. That's right, you'll get 20% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/Pantheon. buyraycon.com/Pantheon.
And we're back.
All right, explain this Little Dirk thing to me.
Okay, so Little Dirk.
I mean, on every level, explain the Little Dirk.
No, the Little Dirk is one of the Lils. He's
a Chicago Lil. He's a Chicago Lil,
and
right?
he was at the United Center. And,
he's a drill Lil. Yeah, he's a drilling Lil.
Having a concert, and someone, I guess, did a fake call to the police saying that there's an active shooter inside the United Center because as one does to people in the middle of a concert.
Right.
And so they stop the show and the police come storming through literally with machine guns out thinking they're coming into an active shooter situation.
Oh my God.
Which of course makes people panic. People start running to leave. But of course, because everybody is an opportunist, people decided while they're leaving thinking, because they don't know that there's not an active shooter.
Right.
But people took the time to jump over the stanchions and steal the merch from merch booths on their way out, which just makes me feel like, why are we living in a time where everybody's first reaction to something, even when you think that there's an active shooter and there are police running through with their fucking shotguns and machine guns out, you're thinking, oh, time to steal something. Like,
well, it's not just now. People have always been.
I know, but it's kind of just nuts to me. Like now we're seeing it and it's so normalized.
Social media, because I will guarantee you somebody was filming that and posted it. I mean, I guarantee they blurred out the person's face, or they weren't bright enough.
They don't even blur out the faces anymore. They don't even blur out the faces.
All social media. That's all that was about. That's all that was about. And luckily, now, did anybody actually get hurt at the show? Was anybody stomped on or anything like that?
I don't think anybody was hurt.
All right. Well, that's the most important thing. I have to. I mean, am I dating myself? They don't do metal detectors at shows? I mean, any show anymore?
Yes.
All right. So they were. That's
right.
why
someone called in and said that there was they called a fake threat saying there was an active shooter inside of an arena. Inside of an arena that's having a hip hop show, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean,
it turns out there was no shooter. Nothing, and that kind of shit is really dangerous. People get really hurt and die. People can die. Situations.
I mean, people panic. People can die. They can't put this on Little Durk though. It's not his fault. He had nothing to do with it. Did he? So it's not like they can blame the hippity hop because he had nothing to do with it. All right, this internet. Okay, first off, can I just tell you that first I thought Internet Archive was the name of a band, like Sedan Archive. I was like, who's Internet Archive? So I know our friend Jody Rosen is very all up on this story because Jody has done a lot of pieces about archival records. So this is an online, like a library, or an archive. Amy, you idiot! It's right there in the title. That archives 78s, right? Only 78s. Okay, so that means obviously it's old stuff. It's like jazz, you know. So every label and their mother is now suing them, right?
Trying to say that they're taking, but it was from a certain period, which I think makes it almost like
eminent. Wouldn't it be like public domain?
But the labels are freaking out about this archive and they're trying to sue. And they've been sued. They've been around for 20-something years, and
so why now? I wonder now.
Because they've tried to sue them before, and I don't think it's all the way worked. So you know how the labels and everything. First of all, they're greedy. Are greedy.
Are that many people downloading like Paul Whitman records from like 1922? I'm being very serious because I want to protect artists' rights.
Let me just tell you something about these labels. You never know, because when I speak to some friends who work at labels about albums that I think came out, and I'm like, God, it didn't do that well. Oh no, it's our #1 streaming record. We're making a lot of money from that. It's like, yeah, it's because they're making so much money from catalog. It's not the new shit.
It's all catalog.
And the artists aren't making shit. Like Snoop said, okay, they want to give me an award. Your song's been streamed 1 billion times on our platform. But that 1 billion times that everybody's celebrating doesn't even net me $1 million. Right. You know what I mean? But the labels and these companies, they're really happy because these streams, they're making a shitload of money. So I think that they want every dime of everything. And it's you know.
It's like the Basquiat estate.
Yeah. I hate you so much.
But it's true.
You're like, baby, they put that shit on everything. There's
on
Basquiat
rugs.
underwear.
On rugs.
There's Basquiat toilet paper. There's Basquiat Metro cars. There's Basquiat. They're like, we got a new exhibit with more things you haven't seen, and we all rush to see it.
I'm telling you, if there was still an active heroin trade in the Lower East Side, there would be somebody selling Basquiat.
Right.
and the family would sue because we didn't get a cut of that.
Right.
It just seems like utter greed, for crying out loud. It's like it's public domain. If something's from the 1920s, I mean, it's like the Star Spangled Banner. You can't sue somebody for digitalize the Star Spangled Banner, right? It's public domain. God, it's like, come on. Like, it's so dumb. By the way, there's a really interesting article, I think it's in the New York Times, about pop stars who are really big, but not really big at the same time. Like Kim Petras, who really kind of, her album tanked this last one, you know, and Charlie XCX.
So we think, right? Because I always think, oh, it didn't happen. And then I hear when I'm speaking to friends with these streaming numbers, it's like, oh.
No, even that, they said it just didn't, even that, sorry.
Yeah,
it had the single and just kind of went whatever. But people like Carly Rae Jepsen, who sells out all the time. Now, are the venues huge? No, they are not.
Well,
but
she plays theater, but when she's in New York, like she played Pier 17.
No, she didn't play Pier. She didn't. They canceled the show because of weather. They moved her.
I'm telling you what she did. She had 2 shows. She played one show. Another show was messed up. She played Rockwood, but she came back the next day to Pier 17 and played because Rockwood is small. So it was like, and she played several little sets so people could come in for free and see it. But then she redid the show. But actually, the last time she played, before that, she played 2 dates in Radio City. First of all, I have all of her albums. She's like Robin, right? Robin has the people. She will sell out in New York.
It's like Charlie XCX, Rena. I can't pronounce her last name, and she's really great. Just it's mainly women artists who are sort of like BB Rexa. I mean, she has a high profile. But she doesn't sell a lot of records, but she has a day. You know what? That's all not everybody has to sell out the Garden.
All of those artists you just mentioned have in common?
They're doing dance pop.
They got the girls and they have the gays.
Well, that's what the article's about. They have the girls. They have the girls and the gays.
Baby, you want to make money? It's not. You get the girls and you get the gays. You'll have a career for as long as you fucking want it.
And if you write your own material. Because Charlie XCX, if she's not making records, she can always write a hit song.
And that's the thing. And you've got publishing and you're streaming and you will make a living for yourself. Because, baby, listen, us gays, we are loyal. Look at me. I like me, Lynn Farmer. She's horrible. I love her, but it's horrible.
Well, that's not a ringing endorsement.
Well, no, because you know me. Listen.
Like Carly Rae too.
They love her. Every one of my French friends, when I say Mila, they're like, you like Mila Farmer? They're like, she's horrible. But the thing is, she's had the girls and the gays since 1983. You know what I mean? If you got the girls and the gays, Madonna is Madonna because the gays are still like, yes, girl, I'm in a half top with you.
Oh, for a second, I thought we could get through a show without talking.
No, because tomorrow's her birthday.
Oh, yay.
And it was announced this week.
She can get her half-price Metro card now. No, I'm serious. That's all I'm living for. You know that. I have told you this. The only thing that is keeping me waking up in the morning is I'm counting the days like I'm in prison. When can I get my half-price Metro? Because I've already fooled Metro North because I buy my ticket online. I literally could show them like a laundry ticket. They don't care. A half-price Metro card.
Listening. I'm telling you, this year I've crossed over into sir. People are like, excuse me, sir.
Oh, God, it's taken you that long? I got ma'am a long time ago.
I'm like, oh.
I knew things were bad when white kids got up and gave me... No, when kids got up and gave me their seats on the subway, I knew I had crossed over the Rubicon.
I'm out for a cocktail with a friend for my birthday. I'm pushed up in my outfit feeling sexy, and I got, excuse me, sir.
I get that. I get that.
I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm hot toddy.
No.
They were like, you're hot Metamucil.
Naughty. You're hot naughty.
You're hot Metamucil tea, sweetie. I need you to move over here, sir.
I know. All right. I never saw The Blind Side. I hate those kind of movies.
Fun fact, neither did I. But,
good. But I just hate those kind of movies where, and I like Sandra Bullock. Don't get me wrong; it's got nothing to do with her. I just don't hate those kind of movies where the white guy swoops in and saves them, I hate the kind of movies where the black guy speaks in tongues and saves the white person from being swooped in.
It's all
like The Help, all those movies. All of them.
Let me just tell you something.
Wait, let's get to the
My
story.
mother and sister both tried to convince me to see The Help. I was like, I'm not going to see that.
Oh, I had people try to convince me to read the book, and I'm like, I read 2 pages, and I'm like,
and my mother was like, I don't like that, but it was really good. I was like, no,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the green book. I don't need it. No,
I actually did see that. I did see that.
All right.
But I was like, I'm not.
No, I don't need it. I don't need it. I've seen this movie.
So anyway, now what's his name? Something Orr is saying that the
William Orr.
What are the names? The Tubies, the Tulovas,
the Tooties,
the tuna sandwiches, the tuna sandwiches,
Tumi, whatever.
The tuna sandwiches.
The woman that Sandra Bullock won the Oscar for playing.
Yeah, the tunas evidently tricked him into signing a conservatorship where they were making all the money off of his story, his image. Well,
he thought he was adopted.
Right.
He grew, and there's a very lengthy conversation to be had about how is it granted he was young, it was desperate circumstance, but how is it that he's in his 30s now? I'm not saying he's not telling the truth, but how is it what happened that he just figured this out? He must have had to sign some other papers or something else, and then they look and go, wait a minute, you're not adopted, you're under conservatorship. He played in the NFL, right, for a chunk of time, right? Mm-hmm. He made a gang of money. That movie made a gang of money.
Mm-hmm. So he's saying he got no money from the movie,
or the book. They had a book.
Yeah, he was like, it's my story, and I've been cut out of it.
All right, so I mean, of course, the family, the Tubies are very upset. I don't know. I mean, it's just a messy story.
And evidently, he's written a couple of books, and he's got a new book coming out.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, look, I understand where you're going with that, but I mean, he's doing press. So it's just weird to me, though. And I'm not saying they didn't do it, but how is it he's not an idiot? How is it that you just figured this out?
It's like...
There's a huge difference between being adopted and being conservative. And wasn't he sitting there at one point going, hi, I just signed with the NFL. Can I have $1 to buy an egg muffin? I mean, there's just something like the guy wasn't mentally ill. He wasn't a drug addict.
He's quite smart.
He's smart. He went to college. It's just weird.
Now he's upset about, evidently he said in the past, he was upset about how he was portrayed in the movie. And
whatever. I mean, that I don't know because I didn't see the movie.
I mean,
I don't know. I just I'm not taking a side because between you, me, and the lamppost, I don't care. Yeah. But it's just kind of like, how do you just now figure this out?
I just say to the tunas, the tunas, feed them a sandwich and give them,
cut them a check.
Give them some coins.
Cut them a check. Just cut them a check. All right.
And I will say this: I never trust somebody with boxed blonde hair. You just never do.
Excuse me. Hello. Every woman you know has had boxed blonde hair. Well, first off, define boxed blonde, because if you're a brunette like me, you have to bleach the crap out of it before you can turn it.
Which
blonde.
Is why you got to go to the salon, because then
No. But when you're
young, have that color that's so
when
yellow.
You're young and poor, sheepdog pig. When you're young and broke, you just have to do it yourself. Courtney, the hair struggle out here is real. I looked like, you should have seen me. Oh my God, I'll show you pictures of me with blonde hair. When I was doing it myself, I looked like, I don't even know what I look like.
I'm so mad I don't have any pictures of me with blonde hair because I used to have platinum.
I had an ombre. Mm-hmm. Because I used to go to the Aveda school and you could get your hair done for like nothing. I had an ombre. It was actually really cute. But as soon as I stopped doing, I was like, what was I thinking? I do not have the coloring. For those of you who are watching me on radio, I do not have the coloring to be blonde. I look like I had 12 stages.
I pick up my new frames tomorrow. I'm very excited.
Oh, I was like...
Yeah. Speaking of coloring. Because I wear gold and, I don't really wear gold.
All right. So the... what's her name? Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista. I swear to God, I thought that was Stephanie Seymour, the Cindy Crawford picture. I'm not.
Really?
That's not to be mean. I really thought it was her. Naomi Campbell and Christy Turlington are on the cover of British Vogue
and American Vogue.
September
issues.
It's the first time. Where's Kate?
Well, Kate Moss was not one of the supers. Kate Moss became
really?
No, she's not one of the original supers. It's like it's Linda, Christie. This is where it gets controversial. It's Linda, Christie, Naomi, who did I leave
Cindy,
out? And Cindy. And some people say Tatiana.
I was going to say Tatiana.
Others say also Claudia Schiffer.
Claudia Schiffer, right?
They were the ones at that time.
Listen, but what's her face?
It was Tatiana.
Kate was the coolest, though.
Yeah, but Kate came later. Remember, Kate brought in the whole waif.
She was the coolest.
Yeah, she's still the coolest.
Still the coolest.
She's still the coolest.
All right, so they're on the cover. So, all right. Here's what I'm going to say. First off, it's a terribly shot. These women, these are real models. These are like like the models that Avedon used to work with, or Lauren Hutton, or Naomi Sims. These are women who are not Instagram people who became famous. They're actual models. They're stunning women. They're accomplished. It's just a terrible looking cover. I mean, it's the silver and the black.
I love seeing them. I don't all the way love the shoot.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. It's cool to see the band back together because they have better material. And
like I wish they had gotten. I feel like Steven Meisel should have shot them. They should have.
Who shot it?
Hold on. No, it's like Paula, Poofa, Papa.
It wasn't Steven Meisel?
No, sweetie. If it was Steven Meisel, we would have loved it.
Yeah. I would have thought they would have. I would have thought they would have brought it back together with that. Make it a whole pack. All right. Here's my problem with it. I feel like if you're going to celebrate women of a certain age, then have them look like we all have. Obviously, there's always like a little retouching and makeup.
Raphael Pavarotti.
All right. Naomi Campbell looks crazy.
What do you
I'm
mean?
Sorry. She's a beautiful woman, and she's so the plastic surgery. Christy Turlington looks good.
I have a friend he's like you. She swears, she's like, I'm telling you, she's doing something to her face.
Oh my God, of course she is.
I'm like, are you sure?
Look at her cheekbones.
Like Naomi, but she always had cheekbones.
Not like that. And I understand these women are in the business of looking good, so I understand.
She looks like Naomi.
No. Her cheeks are like literally. Catherine Deneuve said, as you get older, you can either have the fat in your ass or the fat in your face. You can't have it in both places. She's clearly decided to have it in her face. Fine. She just doesn't. I just feel like the object behind this is to celebrate these women who really were just stunning and individual, and they all just kind of look like a lot of filters and a lot of I'm going to tell you something. I bet if they took a picture of Christy, I think if you took a picture of Christy Turlington with just makeup on, which of course you're going to have, I bet that she doesn't need filters. I've seen somewhat candid pictures for her. I bet all of them would look good.
Something. I've seen her in person more than once, and I've said this to a lot of my friends. One of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life
gorgeous.
Is Christy Turlington.
No, she's
gorgeous. And
the
photographs do not do her justice. There's a softness and real just pretty.
She has a very, very distinct look. She doesn't look like anybody else.
Very, very pretty. You know who else is like that? Who I don't think she's beautiful in pictures and on TV, but in Padma Lakshmi. In person.
Padma Lakshmi.
In person, her face is beautiful. It's just this soft. It's really something. She's very, very. But Christy's gorgeous.
No, I understand they're in the business.
No, I have a friend like you who swears. She's like, Naomi's doing something to her face. I was like, she looks like Naomi. She's like, I'm a woman. I'm telling you, I'm looking
at her.
But
they are, and this is not to be bitchy, because they are in the business of looking good. Yeah. And the world, if they actually were shot the way they look when they wake up in the morning, it might not be as appealing. But I just think
when I look at it, it's the lighting. I just don't like
the lighting
the photography.
Is terrible. Well, that's what I think works against them too. The whole thing, the light, it's flat.
Not my favorite. Yeah, it is kind of flat.
It's
where
flat.
It should feel more pow ta ta.
You know what it looks like? Somebody said this, so I'm going to steal it. It looks like those, when you watch the Real Housewives and they all come together.
And in the beginning, when all of a sudden they're all holding whatever they're holding, and they're like,
a peach or an apple. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's like you would never know that you have millions and millions and millions of dollars of beauty there.
Since you just said the apple, have you actually seen an episode of this new Real Housewives of New York?
No, I can't do it. I have decided to de-Bravo myself.
I don't really watch any of the Bravo shit. I have checked out to see what these...
The one with the J. Crew woman?
Let me just say, she's like the weirdest person on the planet.
No, she is kind of
weird,
right?
She's so strange. She's so fucking... Weird. But there's this other one who's like the kind of person you and I fucking hate, that moves to New York and just is trying to be so sceney and have on all the labels at the same time. And it's like trying to be everything that's supposed to be hot and cool and talks like that. And my kids need to be in this school because it's $1 million and it's going to say, but she's the worst.
Are they doing this? Are they doing this thing where they're going to try to like make it look diverse by making it so obviously diverse that it's not diverse?
Well, it's diverse, and the thing is, that doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It's who they chose. It's the type of people and the type of women that you and I and every fucking New Yorker is like,
hates.
I hate those hoes. I hate them. They are the worst. It's very like, oh, that's not the right table. That's not right. The right. And Jenna Lyons kind of let her have it because the girl, her name is Jessel, and she
that's her first name, Jessel?
Jessel. And she showed up and she's wearing like this, and one thing says Balenciaga, one thing something, and she works in fashion or something. And Jenna Lyons was like, what are you doing?
People who work in fashion don't wear labels.
And she's like, what are you doing? Like, you can't have this on your bag and this on your back. Like, she was like, you work in fashion. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
people who actually work in fashion, you would never know it. They do
and
not,
even when they do, they'll have them closed, but they're not walking around with 5 different logos or 4 different items that they wear.
No, a person who really works in fashion would be more likely the label would be Adidas.
So it's literally mortifying some of the people that they've chosen to represent New York.
Yeah, no, I have not seen it. I had a conversation with my spiritual advisor / wife, and we've decided that we can't Bravo anymore. It just got to a point where it was just such a joke, you know? Do any of these women look like they're involved in criminal activity to keep
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's too early for that. We usually get them arrested if they get to season 3. That's when all of the crime stuff usually starts coming out.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, that bitch was like under indictment by the 2nd season.
No. That was season 3 when all of that happened. Season 3, because now they're coming up with season 4, and this is the first one without her. So season 3 is when they were looking for her on the bus, and they got to play all that out. Which is why they're bringing back the crazy black lady, Mary Cosby, which means I might actually have to look at that. Oh yeah, she's back. She was the best thing going. Wait, where one of those ladies says to her, "Do you think I look inbred?" And Mary says, "Yes."
The man who married her grandfather?
That one.
Oh, God. All right, what are you listening to? My head hurts already from that.
Well, I've been listening to old music, and I will put some
of
the pictures out.
Me too.
I've been listening to Divine's Walk Like a Man.
How did you do that you held something up in a camera and it's not reversed?
I don't know.
Wow, you're a wizard.
Mm-hmm. I've been listening to the Man Parish album. I've been listening to Jermaine Jackson and Pia Zadora.
We're going on break, by the way. We're going on break for 2 weeks. So that's what Courtney's decided just to torture everybody.
Yes. I've been listening to a lot of Steve Silk Hurley remixes. I've been in kind of that mode.
Okay.
A lot of that mode, including like his great remix of Roberta Flack's "Look Out, Here It Comes," which is a great one. Yeah, so just that. And yes, guys, by the way.
Wait, let me say who I'm listening to. I've decided, okay, so believe it or not, my hip hop credit aside, there was a time in my life when I was reviewing a lot of contemporary company, not this like shit, now, because I thought I was going to get married, and he lived in Canada.
You did get married?
No, for a third time.
Oh.
I thought I was going to get married.
Okay.
I was married when I was young. Then I got married, had a baby.
Right.
And I thought I was going to get married again to somebody another time. And he lived in Tennessee, and I lived in New York, and he had kids, and I had a kid. And so we thought, where can we live that's like he could be close enough to his kid? Anyway, I was going to move to Atlanta, and I said, let me start listening to country music more. Anyway, I've always read all these great things about Margot Price. She's somebody who seems like I would really like her. So I listened to Margot Price, her new album. She's been putting out records for years. I think this is her first record as a sober person, neither here nor there, but she's freaking great. And, she's country just because in the way that Casey, what was her name?
Musgraves.
Thank you. Oh my God. Won the Grammy, and I can't remember her name. She's country because she's not rock and roll, but she's super cool. She's not like hip hop or anything like that. She's super, super cool. I love Roseanne Cash. I've always loved Roseanne Cash, an amazing woman, an amazing interview. And I was listening to, there's sort of three phases of her career. There's the earlier stuff when she was working with her then husband, Rodney Crowell. Then the later stuff, she's working with her current husband, John Leventhal, and then stuff where she's done a little more esoteric. I was listening to Rhythm and Romance, I guess, which was like her big breakthrough hit album. 7 Year Ache is a big album, but Rhythm and Romance is the one that has I Don't Know Why You Don't Want Me, which is just such a great song. And then I was listening to Jim Lauderdale, who I love. I used to love it. And I mean, I used to go see all these groups in the concert at Tram. So that's been sort of fun, just kind of listening to, fundamentally, I like a singer-songwriter, at the end of the day. Absolutely. I really do. I mean, it's why we love Pet Shop Boys. They're singer-songwriters. You can just dance to them. That's all. Why we like Robin. She writes great songs, God, when is her record going to come out? Come on.
When is her record going to come
I really, she's somebody did she have a baby? I read. Is she a mom now?
I've never heard that Robin.
I would like Robin to be a mom. All right, give her a big. Anyway, so that's what I'm listening to. Give the big announcement.
Well, guys, it is August.
That's all we have to say about that.
And like monkeypox and COVID, we're going on a vacation.
Oh, no, COVID's back.
No, COVID is back. Can I tell you? I think I maybe had COVID again. Remember when I was sick and I kept being like, I get sick from sleeping under the air conditioner.
Yeah.
But normally that cold, I turn off the air. That cold's a couple of days. This cold lasted 2 weeks. I was sluggish a lot.
Candace had one of those colds too, but she took a test and it was negative.
And I kept coughing and coughing. And the cough lasted for almost 3 weeks. So I'm like, did you have COVID again?
No, that's possible. That sounds COVID-y. I was sneezing my brains out about 2 weeks ago, but that was definitely allergies. That was possible. I mean, you got the COVID. Anyway, so like monkeypox and COVID is still here. Like monkeypox and what else is come and gone? The cronut. No,
that's still around.
Is it?
Scabies.
I've had scabies.
How have you had scabies?
Because I slept in a youth hostel in Vancouver, Canada. It's very. I mean, it's just like itch. You put something on it, it's done.
Right. Okay. Well, like hip hop's 50th, we're going on a vacation. We are taking the last 2 weeks of August off.
Because we're just exhausted. You would think after being away, but we're just exhausted. And nothing's going on, right? Hip hop's 50. Nobody's putting out records for the last 2 weeks.
Not one person's put out a fucking album.
Nobody.
Every movie is flopped.
He'll be in. Well, no, that's not true. I mean, Barbie's made 9.
That's the only one. We talked about that, so we can't go back to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything else is tanked. So,
I know.
And there's not even an album to look forward to, but at least we look forward to what? No one's
nothing.
announced
Well, everybody watch Reservation Dogs because it's on right now. And no, and there's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing going on. There's no sports happening. The Yankees are taking.
Well, we are in preseason football, so at least Giants football.
There's nothing that. Well, I don't care about football. You know that. I don't get it. Though I will say, I know he's an asshole, but the Aaron Rodgers, not hard on the eyes. I'm just saying. I know he's a jerk. I mean, believe me, I know he's a jerk, but not hard on the eyes. Anyway, so we're going to take a break. If we have any listeners in Hawaii, we're sending you oh my God. Yikes.
We're sending you all kinds of our love and energy. And how about this, people? Hawaiians have asked you to stop really going there. I think
Paris Hilton. Stop really going there. Yeah, stop going there. They need the water for their own community.
And do you see and the predatory things that are happening? These developers and investors trying to call people's houses burned, trying to buy their plots of land. It's just really disgusting. It's awful.
Well, anyway, on that happy note, we are going to be gone for 2 weeks.
We'll be back after Labor Day.
Labor Day. If one of us doesn't get kidnapped, no, we're not going to get kidnapped.
Yeah, don't say that, sweetie. It's like this world's a little too crazy. Let's not go there.
We have no money.
We're going to be doing the electric cha-cha slide with our mayor. Did you see how horrible? Did you see how horrible?
All right, I just want to say that everybody needs to Google. No. Everybody, we cap on Eric Adams all the time, but let me just say this. I will say this as what I'm gonna put my white person. Say it with my chest. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna sell yourself as Mayor Swaggy, Mayor Club, Mayor you need to respect me. I'm a black man. Mayor Hip Hop, Mayor blah blah blah, and you're out on these streets doing the electric slide and you look like an old lady at an Italian wedding, no, he can't dance.
Who has dementia? Because that's what you look like.
He's literally
you didn't know where to go. You didn't know where to go. The lady's trying to guide you. I was like,
the lady's
a nice lady.
He's looking at his feet.
It is like, why
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It's like
for that alone, he should not be reelected. But it's embarrassing to sit there and go, oh my God, you're the guy. It was like, when Trump does his little Rock'em Sock'em Robot dance.
So
that's what it looks like, Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Oh my God.
I know. But anyway, we're going on a break. I hope you guys have a wonderful last 2 weeks of this summer. I'm putting it in quotes, which only means it'll be 100 degrees in September because that's how it is. Stay safe. Anything else? Any other parting words?
Yeah, Amy and I are almost finished our new album, Butt Dial. It's almost done. And we are going to really come with some heat for you guys in the fall.
Heat. We're going to come with
heat. All kinds of heat. And heat.
Is that what the kids are saying?
As in
the kids,
icy hot.
Right.
The Tiger Bomb that we're putting on our joints.
Really. Heat as in we're being sponsored by Arnica and Ben Gay. And on
because one of us has been gay. And on that note, we will see you in September. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Listen to us on Pantheon. Bye.
Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.